Yo, I'm about to try that again.
All right. Oh, what's good, everyone? This is Chambers from chambersmixedit.com. Today, we're going to be making a beat for Lil Tjay. So, just to make it easy for everybody, I'm going to stay stock plugin friendly. Just get it right out of FL. And we're going to start out with a piano. So, go into your browser over here to the left side, go into packs, go into instruments, go into keyboard, close grand, right click that and hit send to selected channel or focus plugin. Then we got beautiful piano. You see this? I'm really about to flex right now. We're gonna start out with a chord progression and it's gonna be like real emotional type. So I want to keep the trap vibe, so I'm gonna do a higher BPM, like 150-ish. So what I like to do first is pick out the root notes of the chords, so the lower notes, and just build chords off of that. Literally just start with that. Then we're gonna start to build the chords and melodies all around that. So I'm gonna make that a minor chord. I'm stupid, that's not. Make that another minor chord. Then make this a major chord. And that's just the basic chord progression. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight, I'm going to hit control and I'm going to drag. I'm going to highlight the G, the D, and the D sharp. Hit shift and drag it out just like that, but then put it back and hit control plus the down arrow. Now we're down in octave and we have a duplicate for the bass. Okay, now I like that. I like that. We're going to do that. So I'm not changing the chord or anything. Excuse you. I'm just moving the notes of the chord so it hits different. We're starting at the top, then we go to the root, then we go to the middle. Do that again. Copy that bass again. Oh. Now it's like, I can't tell how loud I am, you know? So now we got like deep bass. I'm gonna hit shift plus the up arrow just to go up a few semitones so we're not like in the dark. Okay, so how did I just do that? I just took that same chord progression that we had and put it up an octave. So I started with the root note, built it up. See, these guys, literally the same thing, just put up an octave. Lastly, we're going to do the top line melody. And I'm just going straight off my head right now. I'm not just clicking in random notes. I have a melody idea in my head, and I'm just going to translate that onto the computer. Let me make it easier for you guys to understand. I'm just gonna break it apart because we have 4 different parts happening in this one pattern right now. I'm gonna highlight the bass part by holding control and dragging, hit control C, then hit control X to cut it, add a new pattern, and hit control V to paste that. Now we just have the bass in this pattern. Alright, so now let's go back into that pattern. Now I'm gonna just grab the first chords that we made, hit copy, cut, add a new pattern, paste. Now we have these. Take these high octave chords that we had, copy that, cut that, put it into a new pattern. There we go. I'm gonna extend this note back out. Then lastly, we have the melody. Then what I can do is go to the playlist and put each of these patterns in. So I'll start with the chords that we started with, the high octave chords, the melody, the bass notes. Then you put that all together. So one more time, we have these chords. All I'm doing is just moving the placement of the notes. So the same chords, same notes, I'm just moving them around. Then in this pattern, the bass pattern, all I'm doing is taking those root notes, duplicating them twice, and putting them down octaves. Here's literally just the same chords up an octave. Then for the melody, you could kind of see a trend in it. See, we're going down like a staircase. We hit that low note. Once we hit that middle chord, then we kind of bring it back up, but then back down. And then we're at the end of the chord progression. We want to go back up. We want to resolve. We want to ascend it. So then I start playing the notes back up. So that sounds great and all, but there's one big problem. It sounds like a robot played it. So I'm gonna go into the notes, adjust the velocities, adjust the timing, just to make it sound like a human played it. Because a big part of playing the piano on beats like this is like you gotta have soul in it. You can't just be. You gotta have the touch. So like right here, we just have the softer notes. Then once we hit this chord, we really go soft. And then on this chord, I'm going to bring it back up so that it hits. Because it's like you're going back up. So we slowly go down in velocity, then bring it back up. And we're just going to repeat that trend throughout all of the patterns that we have right here. So now we have actual chords. It's the octave chords. So what I'm going to do is go to the wrench tool and hit strum. And as you can see, that strums it out here. And I'll lower that velocity down. But I'm still going to go in manually, go to the none grid, and I'll move them out myself a little bit too. But then the problem is you have all these excess notes just like overlapping each other and extending. So you want to grab your cut tool, right click, go ahead and cut off the excess. But we also want to mess around with the velocities. Like you see, they're all the same right here. So I'm going to just move them around, bring it down, playing softer. Then we bring it back up right here. Then we have these melodies. And you can see that there's like a pattern going on. The velocities kind of look like the pattern because you're going down in notes, you're going down in velocity. Then you bring it back up. Another great trick, offsetting the melody. Because when the chord hits and then the melody kind of hits on top, it's like bring, and that just makes it even better. So, and yes, I'm even gonna adjust the velocity of the bass. So now if we put all that together, it's going to sound like this. And you could definitely feel that difference because once we hit this middle chord, it hits all the soft notes of the chords and then you bring it back up, which is really great for directing energy in your music. Now we got to get smart because if you want to mix this piano, you're going to want to cut out the high. You're going to want to cut out the low end to make room for the 808. But if you cut out the low end, you're going to be cutting out the bass notes in the piano. So what I'm going to do is right click on the piano plugin, hit clone, go click on the bass pattern, go back to the channel rack, go to the first plugin, hit copy, then cut it, then paste it, Control V into this plugin. So now this plugin is going to be for bass only. So we're not going to cut the low end, but on the top, we can cut the low end now because the bass is on a different plugin, if that makes sense. So double click right here, go into the mixer, right click on insert one and do channel routing, route selected channels from this track. There you go. So if I want to cut the bass out, I just gotta mute this insert. And like for a Lil Tjay beat like this, I'm only gonna have a piano on. I might add another instrument or two, but like mainly it's just all about the piano. That's why we did 4 different patterns, just to keep that variation. Because if you're only using one instrument, you don't want to hear the same chords over and over. So we made different formats, melodies, chords, bass, and stuff like that. So cut out the low end. I'm gonna add stereo separation right here. Then I'm gonna go to the bass plugin. Let's get Fruity Wave Shaper because I love when like you could put the grit on the bass. Like that nice high-end grit. Then lower the volume because we just like jacked it up. One more thing, I'm going to go back into the EQ for the normal piano and let's cut out some of that mud. This stuff, it's just mud. So I'm going to attenuate some of those frequencies. now we could get into the drums. All right, so now I'm just naming the drums so you don't have to sit through that. But I have a question for you. Why are you not at chambersmixedit.com right now getting my sound kits, my drum kits, my preset packs? I got a clap right here. 3 and the 7 count. Hi-hat, fill each 2 steps, and then we'll add another pattern. Put that in, fill each 2 steps. Let's go into the piano roll, put the grid on like 1/2. Grab that paintbrush tool, drag it out. Let's bring it down a few notes. Open hi-hat on the 1. Open hi-hat hack though, go into the sample, go into the envelope, put the attack down, put the holds all the way up, put the decay down, the sustain down, the release down. Go into the piano roll, highlight the note and drag it out. Because now you're holding the open hi-hat for however long you want to hold it. Similar to what you would do with an 808. Add some percussion here and there. Did someone say it's time for the 808? 808 hacks. Go into the lever, hit the boost knob, go up 3 or 4%. Let's go up 4% because this is about to hit. Put the attack down, put the hold all the way up, everything else down, just like we did with the open hi-hat. And let's find that root note. There you go. So what I'm doing with the 808 is following the chord progression. We start out with that high root note, go down, then come back up. I'll just leave it in a high octave to hear it. Clone that pattern, put that into the playlist. This time we'll add more variation to it. Let's add an 808 roll. So go to half step. Let's go to the end. And let's roll it like that. Then let's go back to pattern 12 and put it down an octave. That's the 808 pattern. So now we're faced with a conflict because the 808 is kind of too high. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but like for me, the 808 is too high. So what I'm going to do is drop it down like 3 semitones by hitting shift and the down arrow. But if you do that, you have to take into consideration the entire rest of the song because you can't just drop the bass note down 3 and leave the piano where it's at. So go into the chords, drop those down 3 semitones, go into the high octave chords, 3 semitones, into the melody, 3 semitones, go into the bass, 3 semitones, and then also that other 808 pattern that we did, down 3 semitones. Now we're set. So now we can do the kick. Go into this lever tab, boost it like 1 or 2%. Go into the wrench tab and crank that volume up just a tiny bit. That's the life hack. If you're facing problems with like your kick and your 808 clashing or like not sounding good together, you want to duplicate your kick sample, have one that's normal polarity, and then the other one reverse it, which you can do right here, and then really just test it out. This is a very special situation right here because here it hits harder there, but up here it has more of that like that clipping sound that FL has. So I'm gonna keep it at that. This or this. Obviously the second one because it hits like 10 times harder. If I put all the melodies back in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I'm just going to structure it out. So the intro would be, start out with just these chords. Actually, start with the high chords. Then in the second 4-bar portion of an 8-bar intro, we'll have everything in. Right? We're going to do a 16-bar hook. So copy that, hold shift, drag it. Boom, we just duplicated it. Cut out everything and the bass too. So it's going to sound like this. An 8-bar intro, just the chords. Start it plain, then we're going to build up that tension by putting more melodies as we go further into the intro, then just drop it off here at the hook. And another trick that I love to do, don't have the kick hit first, just delete it and have it hit after 2 bars. Then we bring the melodies back in. Thank you all for tuning in. That's how I would make a Lil Tjay or Polo G beat, that type of vibe from scratch. We just started out with the root notes, nothing else. Then we built up chords, put the octave chords on top, bass below, then the melody like even higher. Pretty simple drums, not a lot of percussion, not a lot of stuff in the way, just a clap, hi-hat, maybe 1 or 2 percussion or snares, 808 that hits, kick that hits. The emotional part meets these aggressive trap drums, and that's what makes the music what it is. It's that energy, because it's the contrast between emotional soft piano and like crazy trap drums. And yeah, so I'd appreciate it if you guys could like the video, comment, share it, subscribe to my channel. A lot of content coming soon. If you like the melodies that you hear in this, I got plenty of those at chambersmixedit.com. I have sound kits available for you guys, drum kits, preset packs. Everything will be in the description and the comment section. Instagram at chambersmixedit. So I will see you guys later.